Hey friends, happy Sunday. Let's see, January 29, 12:15 p.m. here in New York City. Mild mid-40s, going up to 51 degrees Fahrenheit today. So it's a beautiful day. I'm standing here across from 980 Madison. I just love this. Art on the side of the building, isn't that cool? That's the Gagosian gallery over there, and we're next to Beemelman's Bar at the famous Carlyle Hotel. Claire, Paul Greenwell. When I was getting stuff ready, I saw Preston. Good to see everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Beautiful Carlyle Hotel. If you want to learn more about it, check out this movie, Always at the Carlyle. It's actually a really good one. A little documentary about the hotel and some of the people who stay there. The art at Beemelman's Bar. You have to Google Beemelman's Bar. Look up the murals in there. Some of the coolest stuff you'll ever see. Let's head down Madison a little bit. A little bit of a gray day here in New York, very cloudy, but again mild, going up to 51. Hope everybody's having a good Sunday, a good weekend. Passing the Louboutin store for your high-end shopping needs here on Madison Avenue, coming up to Frick Madison, the temporary home of the Frick collection. Sister Surround, good to see you. Again, this is the Frick Madison, the temporary home to the Frick collection, normally in a ornate mansion, the Henry Clay Frick House on 5th Avenue, which is undergoing some renovations, so they temporarily moved the collection here, which is such a funny thing that New York is so big and has so much going on. We actually have spare museums to house temporary collections. Sebastian, good to see you. And it's across the street from the old United States Mortgage and Trust Company, which is now an Apple store, and it's one of the most beautiful Apple stores in New York City. Check it out. Jason Parker, good to see you. Nice to see everybody this lovely Sunday. So we head down Madison Avenue here in the 70s, East 70s. So we're on a nice little stretch of the Upper East Side. Lots of high-end shopping, restaurants and so forth. Frick Madison, and then if you go just one avenue over to 5th, you have the Museum Mile.
Hardware store around the corner from your office.
Sean is here. Winnipeg, -15, feels like -33, unbelievable. Pizza Man is here. So our weather update, briefly. I think today we are breaking the record. I think today it's like we're equaling the record. Maybe we're breaking the record for the latest point in a winter season without snow, without measurable snowfall. And then tomorrow we break the record for longest stretch at all without snow. So very strange times here in New York City. And like I said, 51 degrees Fahrenheit today. So very odd. William Peters, good to see you. So since we started on Madison, I wanted to show you guys the beautiful Ralph Lauren mansions. These are the absolutely gorgeous home to the Ralph Lauren store. let's hop across. Oh, they've updated the windows, so let's do a little window shopping. It's been a minute, and it looks like we have new collections. It's been a long time. Let's see what's going on at Ralph Lauren. Pizza Man says, if we'd like, we'll take some of that, they'll ship some of the Minnesota snow over here. It's funny, I keep posting updates about the snow, and there is a surprising number of people who are very happy not to have any snow. I myself am excited to have some snow. I mean, I don't want anything dangerous, but nice little, ooh, these are nice. Laureen is here. Greetings from the Netherlands. Hey, we love the Netherlands. We had one of our last trips that we took. Can't wait to go back. Lots of camel now. Khaki and camel. Here at Ralph Lauren. Claire loves the snow. I mean, part of living in New York is seasons, right? I just find it funny though. A lot of people don't like the snow. There's some people don't like the snow because it makes it very difficult for them to get around. I understand that. But I like the seasons myself. Nice things going on here at Ralph Lauren. Lots of khaki colored wool and plaid patterns. Little leather on this side. We'll hop across in a second when we can do so. Looks like we have the light, so let's hop across. We'll go check out the women's department, as well as the best smelling coffee shop in New York City, Ralph's Coffee here at 72nd Street. Seriously, just standing at this corner, the smell is unbelievably good, but we'll do a little walk around so we can see the women's windows and then the kids' windows, which is always cracks me up. Let's see what's going on at Ralph's. There's the window for the coffee shop. Andrea Jordan's here. Good to see you. Sean says, go to Buffalo, they have lots of snow. It's so funny, right? That lots of other parts of New York State have gotten snow, but not New York City. We've had some snowflakes, but what they say, not measurable. So again, on the men's side, it was a lot of khaki and camel, and on the women's, sort of gold, similar color here at Ralph Lauren. Starting to see the new windows come up. We saw the Bloomingdales, the Bergdorf Goodman not too long ago. And the ones at Saks were for Lunar New Year.
No, you know what I think I'm gonna do? I think I want
The only ones I haven't seen yet are Bloomingdales and Macy's. I don't think we're going to get to Macy's, but we may get to Bloomingdale's today. The kids department at Ralph Lauren always cracks me up. Trying to imagine what some of these outfits must cost. And my apologies to my kiddo. He does not get the luxury of such outfits. Oh, look at that little junior pea coat. How funny is that? That sweater, that's what I look like today. It's so funny. Super cute. Look at this little raincoat. All right, onwards. Fun to see the windows there. Let's head over to, let's start making our way over to Bloomingdales. That's the general direction we want to head in. So maybe what we'll do is go over to Park for a little bit, and then we'll go to Lexington. If you want to continue your luxury experience, you could go get macaron at La Durée. And of course, plenty of shopping, high-end shopping here on Madison Avenue. But let's head over to Park, walk down Park for a little bit. It's a pretty quiet Sunday in the city. Like I said, a pretty cloudy day, but it's a very mild day. So very nice walking weather for winter. This is East 70th Street. Just look at some of the beautiful buildings here. Can only imagine what some of these cost. Millions upon millions, tens of millions in some cases. Across the street is the Explorers Club, which is actually a fun little group to read about. Look up the Explorers Club NYC, pretty interesting. James is here, good to see you. Across the way is the Asia Society, which has a lovely collection and exhibitions. This is Park Avenue. Check out some of the beautiful apartments along the way. Gregory Kelly, good morning, good to see you. How are things in Santa Barbara, California? Gregory says, hope Lisa and Caleb are well. Yeah, they're doing great. We have family in town, which is really nice. Sending my love to everybody. So hopefully they're hanging out on the couch with us. And since they were having a somewhat abbreviated trip here to New York, and we've mostly spent it at the apartment just looking after the kiddo, I have some ideas in mind for today to show them some interesting parts of New York City. So hopefully this will be of interest to everybody. This is the Consulate General of Italy. Donna's here, good to see you. And I always love these door handles. Check these out, these knockers. Henry's here, good to see you. So again, the Italian consulate, and there's some tourist activity stuff going on here. So we walk down Park. Ooh, let's check this out. Designated landmark, New York City, Spanish Institute in designing this 1926 residence. Oh, McKim, Mead and White. Beautiful. Ambrose is here. Good to see you, my friend. Ambrose says, yesterday I walked on Broadway from Bowling Green to 34th Street. Felt like a live stream. Hey, that's a healthy walk. That's a good one. I've been meaning, I think I said before, I've been meaning to do some more Broadway walks one of these days. That's further inspiration. Coming up on our left, the Park Avenue Armory, which is an absolutely magnificent building, and they do art exhibitions there. Really, they have a huge amount of space, so they can do some pretty cool stuff in there. Large scale stuff, which is fun. But what they're advertising today is the winter show, January 20 to 29. So I guess ending today, huh? 5,000 years of art, antiques, and design. Ooh, I bet that's pretty fun. Today's the last day though, so if you want to go check that out, better hurry up. British Grey is here. Good to see you. British Grey had requested some Harlem walks, so hopefully you were able to check out. We did a couple more Harlem walks, 125th Street, and then a bunch of the avenues in East Harlem, so I hope you were able to check those out when your schedule allows. Sam Jackson, good to see you. Gregory asked, do we know when it was built? I don't remember the exact, we could pop across and go check the plaques. I mean, it was built for the, during the Civil War, so 1800s, late 1800s. Let's go see if we can find out the exact date. Sometimes at the corner they have the cornerstone, but I don't know which corner. But there should be a plaque, so let's go check out the plaque. We gotta head in this direction anyways. Lots of people coming to the Park Avenue Armory, so the show that's going on must be pretty good. Let's see. 1879 fence. Was added to the register in 1975, but the fence is, so this plaque reads, the fence, the original 1879 fence was restored in 2012. So let's say it's in the like I said, late 1800s, but around 1879 the fence came up, so I assume that's a pretty good indication of when it was built. Sam Jackson has the captions on and can read it before I speak. That's so funny. Thinks he's reading my mind. You may be. Maybe Google knows what I'm going to say before I say it. So we're going to head down Park Avenue. We're going to go over to Lexington. We'll check out Bloomingdales in a minute. And then hopefully we'll do something we haven't done in a long while, which is go to Roosevelt Island. Try to give some interesting New York City sights today. Since my family is here, can't get around, we will get around for them. This is 65th. Let's head down to 59th Street. So we can walk over to Bloomingdales. Ambrose says, Google always knows exactly. You can start to see some of the towers of Billionaires Row popping out from 57th Street, a few avenues over. But let me show you guys this sign. I feel like it must have gone up for some of the TV filming or something, but look at this vintage Park Avenue sign. Sue K is here, excited for Roosevelt Island. Yeah, hopefully this will work out. I have my Metro card in my pocket, so we can take the tram. I have the light. That's useful. Guy yells because the truck is taking the turn too fast when I have the protected walk. Funny times. Andrea. I don't think you can put links in the chat, but if you put it in the comment on the video, Gregory should be able to see it there. I don't think they allow links in live chat because it's usually spam, but moderators can add links. But feel free to add it to the comments for the video. So let's head again down Park Avenue, lovely Park Avenue today, over to 59th Street. There's a few ways to get to Roosevelt Island. You can take the tram, which is what we're going to try to do today, if all things go according to plan. You can walk across the Queensboro Bridge, which I've said before, it's my least favorite bridge to walk across because the walking path is shared with the bike lane. It's very narrow, and we've seen a number of really bad collisions, which is very upsetting, so I really don't like to do that. And you can take the, I think it's the F train, and get off at Roosevelt Island. But the tram is my recommended route because you get these beautiful views, so hopefully this will work out. Lowe's Regency across the way. Got the snowflakes up for the season. Yeah, James, I completely agree. It's there's a lot of running red lights and so forth, so we are looking in every direction, making sure. So like right now, there's no cars on the street. Christ Church across the way. Some of the many beautiful churches in New York City. This is among them. Ambrose mentions the movie Quills. Ooh, I've heard of that. I've never seen it. Let's actually hang a left here so that we can see the walk along the windows at Bloomingdales as we make our way over to the tramway. So this is East 60th Street, walking from Park to Lexington, where we'll be at the north corner of Bloomingdales. So check out the latest windows. I heard there were some new windows there. Hopefully they're up. Lovely little fountain here. Ambrose says, as bad as New York City is, New Jersey is twice as bad with turns on red. Yeah, I'm not a fan of that. You can see in the very, very, very distance the tramway, and actually both trams are going. One coming and one going. So that's what we'll be on in a little bit. So let's see what's going on at Bloomingdale's. Besides chocolate, you're my favorite. Ah, Valentine's Day stuff. Bloomingdales. So let's get a quick update on the windows as we make our way over to the tramway. Do you guys feel it? It says love is in the air. And on this side, it's Bloomingdales welcomes New York Fashion Week. So this is what I had actually heard about. So Fashion Week windows. My beautiful wife Lisa is here, which means family is on as well. It's good to see everybody. Currently window shopping at Bloomingdales, but we're going to make our way over in a moment to the Roosevelt Island tramway. Hopefully take a nice ride on the tram, get you guys some really good views, and then walk around Roosevelt Island, something we haven't done in a long while, and actually a really long while. Scott Briggs says, my wallet will be lighter in the air if I walk in there. No kidding, especially the Fashion Week stuff. I can only imagine how much some of this stuff costs. To Org Rock, good to see you. Good to see everybody. Beautiful Sunday. Mild 51 degrees today in New York City is the high. It's in the mid 40s right now. Really nice out. A little cloudy. No sun. Lisa has been here the whole time. Good. Beautiful. We like to hear it. Lisa has helping hands today, which makes a huge difference. So my thanks to her family for being with us, visiting, getting to meet the kiddo, and taking millions of photos. This is the Polo Ralph Lauren. So we were at the Ralph Lauren store. This is Polo Ralph Lauren here at Bloomingdales. What does Lisa say? Really working on my left bicep at the moment, holding not so mini bagel. Love it. On our right is the headquarters of Bloomberg, which during the winter season holiday season had a really beautiful Christmas tree. No more Christmas tree. All right, so we're going to make our way to 3rd and then over to 2nd Avenue to catch the tram. Price of the tram is the same as the New York City subway, but you have to use a Metro card. You can probably also use exact change, but you have to use a Metro card. You can't use Omni, which is the tap and pay system. Totally unclear to me why they haven't updated the fare readers there, but such is life. So I did remember to bring a Metro card. Hopefully that'll work. Haven't used it in a while, so hopefully it hasn't expired. Lily's here, good to see you. It's nice to see everybody as we take a little tour today over to one of my favorite places in New York City, Roosevelt Island. And I did remember to check the map. Four Freedoms Park, which is one of my favorite spots on Roosevelt Island, is open today. So excited to show you guys. And like I was saying, since my family wasn't able to do much touring, hopefully we'll show them some interesting sights today. So this is East 59th Street between 2nd and 3rd. You can also go down 60th to get to the tramway, where we would have seen, what's it called, Serendipity, the sweets shop, home of the frozen hot chocolate. Joao is here. Right, Ambrose? There's not really any explanation as far as I can tell. just seemed like a low priority, I guess. But to me, riding the tram is one of the great experiences. So when we go up, we can talk a little bit, but when we get on the tram, I'm not going to talk as much because I don't want to be obnoxious to our fellow riders. So just be aware of that. We will get a little more quiet when we're on the tram, but hopefully we'll get a spot with some decent views. So let's walk up the stairs. Sunset Blue is here, good to see you. So that's the Ed Koch 59th Street Queensboro Bridge. And we'll be going alongside it on the tram. As we were walking over, I saw them both, so there may be a little wait. Oh, there's a line. Wow. Well, we'll get in line. Oh, there's probably a line for the MetroCard machine. Are you waiting for to get in or for the machine?
For the machine.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. Excuse me. Excuse me. All right, so they were just waiting for the MetroCard machine. Probably because, again, almost anywhere else you can use tap and pay. S. Fields, good to see you. Let's walk over here. Again, not going to talk as much when we get on, just because I don't want to be obnoxious to everybody. So we are in the, oh, there's the trams coming in now. So what'll happen is it'll come in, they'll let people disembark, then we'll get on. Hopefully we'll get a spot with some nice views. And then we'll ride over to Roosevelt Island. Naboul, good to see you. Everybody go follow our friend Naboul. Great streamer from Saint-Tropez. Had a really lovely sunset view this morning. Morning my time, afternoon his time. Excited to do this with you guys. We haven't done this in a long time. Scott Brooks. Does sound like a James Bond villain. Vanita is here. Good to see everybody. Again, when we get on, not going to be as much talking. We'll just enjoy the ride together, enjoy the views. Hopefully we'll get a good spot near the windows. Brenda's here, good to see you. Lots of people. Ambrose, watch out for Green Goblin. Martin's here, good to see you. Again, good to see everybody. Thanks for hopping on, hanging on out with us here in New York City. We're gonna get on the Roosevelt Island tram in a few moments. They're gonna let folks off and then we'll get on. And it looks like it will be a full ride. A lot of people here. Sneed is here, good to see you. All right, folks, make sure you have all your belongings. So I usually like to be right over here. We'll get some water views and we'll turn the camera towards the city when we make it across. But we'll get some nice views of the Queensboro Bridge. Hey BX, good to see you.
People actually use this for public transit.
Olive Garden in Times Square. Puss in Boots movies. That was so good. You guys
Should be a fun ride. So
My day didn't even go well.
just give us a few moments to get everybody on board.
Would you not have lied?
No, it just was terrible. I was should have went to.
You're like the six thing worse. You're like,
No.
And fingers crossed we'll have a smooth connection across.
I think it's the worst day I've been on in my life. Like saying like crazy
Por eso.
And here we go.
I know. Very lucky.
Esta se la tomamos de golpe. Sí, mira, que bajamos así rápido.
Terrible. They're gonna be so bad. Yeah. Right now, I don't know. I need to just get these pictures for now. I've told you most of my last.
No, bueno, aquí le vamos con ferry.
Yeah, I know.
Aquí le vamos con ferry.
It's almost like you're gonna die young. The philosophy is like just take pictures. Call it my die young philosophy. So what's your life like? You never know if it's yeah. I haven't even done like one full evolution. So I don't even know like what. Yeah, I don't even know what I'm doing. There's a point. I got it like many months. But I was really slow to tell the time like start my phone and like things like that, and then like it's like it's fun. Such a low lift
Everybody have a good afternoon.
All right. Hope everybody enjoyed the ride. We are now on Roosevelt Island. Sam said, see that? When you can't answer questions, that's when you get them. Exactly. Well, I saw some of them. So Christian asked, have we been getting the baby out? We actually took our kiddo to the East River yesterday for the first time. His most visited places are Central Park and the doctor's office. Yesterday, we took him over to the East River, so that was super fun. Christian was asking, yep, Roosevelt Island. And what else did I hear? So again, $275 is the price. Same price as a ride on the New York City subway. You can use your Metro card to get on. There was a very long line to buy Metro cards, so if you're able to do that in advance, it'll speed things up. We were able to fly right onto the tram there, as you saw. And this is the bridge we were going by as we came across. It's a very quick ride, and TBD on whether we'll take the return. The return is probably actually nicer because you're watching the New York City skyline come into view. But we'll see how we're feeling because we're going to do a pretty long walk here on Roosevelt Island. But yeah, really awesome views. I guess one of the other questions I saw was is there any other trams? Not that I can think of off the top of my head. If anybody wants to fact check me, but I can't think of any others. Let's pop down here so we can be close to the water. There's a turn in just up ahead to get on a path by the water. So I'm walking south. So we are on Roosevelt Island heading south. We'll get some beautiful views of the city, and then we'll see one of Lisa's favorite sites, which is the Smallpox Memorial Hospital, which is more interesting than it may sound to some of you. And then my favorite site, which is Four Freedoms Park. And then I think what we'll try to do is walk all the way to the north tip of the island afterwards. That's a pretty long hike, so we'll see how we're feeling and how the battery's going. So during cherry season, all of these trees bloom. This is one of the most beautiful walks in spring. Highly, highly recommend a visit to Roosevelt Island anytime, but during spring, when you get these trees, unbelievably beautiful. Most people photograph this because they get off the tram and it's right here, but there's also nice cherry trees on the other side of the island and not as many photographers. But we'll probably see all of this in a little while as we walk. But before we get to spring, we still have to get to snow and winter, if it ever comes. For a little while, there was some snow forecasted for the coming week, but it disappeared from the forecast. What I did see is that next Friday and Saturday, the low is like 5 degrees Fahrenheit, so it's going to get super cold. So this is 58th Street. Those are the towers of Billionaires Row. And this is the bridge we were going next to. That roller coaster looking thing is Andrew Haswell Green Park. It's not an actual roller coaster, it's just meant to look like one. It's really fun to sit there. And this we've walked along many times is the East River Greenway, but what I'm pointing at right now, the beautiful brand new concrete isn't open yet. This is going to be the new section of the Greenway that's going to open hopefully in the next year or so. Can't wait to walk on that. But let's start heading down. So we're going to walk south. We're going to go over again to see some interesting Roosevelt Island sites on the southern tip of the island, and then hopefully we'll have enough juice to walk to the northern tip. In the distance, the United Nations headquarters over at 42nd Street, and some of the beautiful buildings of Tudor City. And if you guys look in the middle of the frame, you can see the tip top of the Chrysler building. Really beautiful. Sal is here, good to see you. S. Field says, snow is an urban myth. I know, it feels like that these days. We just keep getting teased with little snowflakes, but barely even hits the ground. Got a big boat. So this is the East River we're walking alongside. Roosevelt Island smack dab in the middle. Ooh, and now we can see the tip top of the Empire State Building. Really gorgeous views over here. This is a particularly, on a nice day, with a nice blue sky, you can get some amazing photographs. So, it's a cloudy day. It is what it is. But again, really encourage you guys to come during spring when all of the cherry trees are blossoming. Lots of fields to play on, picnic, sports. We'll see more as we go. And I think on the eastern side of the island there is a ferry stop. I forget which route comes here. I think maybe it's the Astoria route. But that would be another way to get onto the island. And as you guys know, I love the New York City ferry. One of the best ways to get around, $4. Amazing views. And they have a snack bar on board, so you can get some food, you can get a beer, you can get a glass of wine, which is really fun, especially around sunset. Andrea saw this in the spring. Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's just like totally colorful. All the photographers come out. It's really fun. Arzi saying, the new Greenway on the east side looks great. Yeah, if you Google the East River Greenway, you can see images of what it's actually going to look like to walk on. It's going to be so great. Can't wait for that. Let me show you guys a close-up of Chrysler. And Brenda says, I just read that a one-bedroom on Roosevelt Island is almost $4,000. Yeah, that doesn't really surprise me, I'm afraid. I think that from time to time there are lotteries for more affordable units, but that for the market rate ones, that doesn't surprise me. There's a Cornell campus here and some other stuff, so there are folks who, would want to live here just to work, be near where they work, which probably bumps the price up because there's not a huge amount of inventory on the island, as you'll see. It's bigger, it might be bigger than you think, but it's not a very big island. Ambrose says, nothing could go wrong with beer and boating. Hey, as long as I'm the one with the beer, hopefully we're doing okay. And not the captain. So this is 53rd Street, which is where that entrance is going to be to get onto this part of the Greenway. The hope is that one day they'll connect it to the next part starts around 42nd Street. So one day the hope is that all this will be connected and you'll have an uninterrupted East River Greenway path, but I think it's going to be a long time before that dream happens. So as you can see, lots of nice benches here. Again, in the springtime especially, folks will be out here just watching the water, watching the boats go by, looking at the architecture of Manhattan's skyline. The beautiful United Nations headquarters right here, copper building up ahead. Waterside Plaza down there. Peter Cooper Village, Stuytown, some really, really nice views from over here. S-Field says, I'll be in a walker by then. I may be too. Somebody will have to push me around the island. Let's hop in here for a second. So, as you might imagine, this is all named after Franklin Delano Roosevelt. This is the FDR Hope Memorial. It's really beautiful. Let's go take a quick look at this, and I'll read some of the things on the ground. 1828, City of New York purchases Blackwell's Island for charitable and corrective institutions, and we'll see that in a second right there, the Smallpox Memorial Hospital. 1856, Smallpox Hospital built with convict labor. 1861, Charity Hospital built with convict labor. 1869, the workhouse opens. Ooh, deep. 1894, first known United States polio epidemic occurs in Vermont. 1916, it hits New York City. 1921, FDR contracts polio, never regains the use of his legs. 1928, FDR elected governor of New York. 1932, FDR elected president of the United States. 1937, the March of Dimes is announced by FDR. 1941 to 1945, FDR leads the United States during World War II. 1945, FDR dies April 12 at Warm Springs, Georgia. Same year, United Nations, envisioned by FDR, opens. 1953, Dr. Jonas Salk develops the polio vaccine. And 1973, Welfare Island renamed Roosevelt Island. And a memorial to FDR is planned. And I guess the last one that I'll read, 1990, Americans with Disabilities Act becomes law. And again, this is the Hope Memorial. You can see, obviously, Roosevelt in his wheelchair, which is an image you didn't really see much of and then a young girl with leg braces. Obviously both impacted by polio. Let's make our way left. We'll see the Smallpox Memorial Hospital, and then my favorite, the Four Freedoms Memorial Park. Brenda says, when I first saw the island in 1974, it looked like something out of the Dark Knight Asylum in Gotham. I imagine this site right here at night, and you can see exactly what Brenda's talking about. 100%. This is one of Lisa's favorite sites. She likes ruins, especially modern ones. They make you think of, Greek and Roman times, but this is the Smallpox Hospital we just mentioned. And let's read the plaque. Smallpox Hospital has been placed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1972. Folks do sometimes sneak in here. It's not recommended because the structure is not terribly stable. They have a bunch of, poles and things to hold the building up, but I wouldn't recommend that. Let's read some of the history here. Smallpox Hospital is a Gothic revival structure designed by James Renwick. It opened to the public 1856. It was the first hospital in the country dedicated to treating smallpox. It was converted to a nursing school in 1886 until the 1950s. It was then abandoned, and it's been empty ever since. What exists today is largely its shell, this reads. So things were taken from it since the 1950s, leaving just sort of the exterior walls. Oscar's here. Yeah, she was reading about the history. Quite a pass with the insane asylum, prison, and hospital. And there's our friend the geese, honk honk. So quite a history. We're entering now Four Freedoms Park. This is one of my favorite parks in all of New York City. We'll get some more views of the Smallpox Hospital as we go, but this really is one of my favorite sites. Not often very busy, as you'll see, but I think you'll agree the views are really worthwhile. Let's get another angle at the Smallpox Hospital, though. Oh, hearing we had a big buffer. Sorry about that, folks. Looks to me like the connection is coming back. Sorry about the buffer. We're out in the middle of nowhere, so these things happen. Are we coming back? Hopefully we're coming back. LL is here. Good to see you. Let's do this. Let me ping my connection one time and see if we can refresh it. Hopefully it'll get a little better. Let me know if we're coming in, you guys. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. The joys of live streaming, you never know quite what you're gonna get. I'll post the replay of some of the last one there. But let's head into Four Freedoms Park. Hopefully we'll have better luck. Viking Bill, good to see you. Sorry about the... You never know what's going to happen. Brenda, hopefully folks will find their way back. We do the best that we can, but you never know quite what you're going to get. So I'm walking to the southern tip of Roosevelt Island. We're going to go see some beautiful memorials to FDR. And leave a like, it'll help other people come back to us. Guess the Smallpox Hospital is a big dead spot. Viking Bill is formerly known as, the artist formerly known as Cowboy Bill. Thanks for being with us. Hopefully you guys can see. So we have the UN headquarters, Empire State Building, Chrysler Building. Some really great views. Oh my gosh, look down. Joanne is here. Brenda says spirits, no kidding. Hold on, let me zoom you guys. Again, some really wonderful views from here. We'll come back to that in a little bit. But let's go see the memorial while we're here at Four Freedoms Park, and then we'll continue our walk around the island. Yeah, Brenda, it's on the other side of the island. We're on the southern tip, that's on the northern tip. Hopefully we'll make our way there. Assuming no more issues, we will work our way to the northern tip of the island. And we missed some of the Smallpox Hospital during the buffer, so I'll post a replay with everything later today when I get home. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, 1882 to 1945. Beautiful memorial here. Quite the sculpture. Really stunning. Let folks have their photograph. Ambrose, thanks for coming back. Thanks everybody for making their way back. Never a dull moment. Never a dull moment here in New York City. So here is the Four Freedoms, giving name to the park. In the future days, which we seek to make secure, we look forward to a world founded upon four essential human freedoms. First is freedom of speech and expression everywhere in the world. The second is freedom of every person to worship God in his own way everywhere in the world. The third is freedom from want everywhere in the world. Fourth is freedom from fear anywhere in the world. That is no vision of a distant millennium. It is a definite basis for a kind of world attainable in our own time and generation. 1941. Facing south. Noble Sweetness, good to see you. You could see the Williamsburg Bridge in the distance, far distance. United Nations, the Copper Building, Waterside Plaza, Peter Cooper Village and Stuyvesant Town. And peeking out is One World Trade Center. So some really wonderful views over here. Some really wonderful views here on Roosevelt Island. Get another look at the memorial here. And let me show you guys Roosevelt one more time. Really beautiful views. Pepsi Cola. Sean is back. Leave a like, it'll help other folks come back to us. Apologies for the buffer. These things happen. But we're back. Strolling through Four Freedoms Park here on Roosevelt Island with a view of Long Island City. Walk through the park and then we will work our way north along the length of Roosevelt Island and see some more sights. Again, I find this park beautiful year-round, but really especially stunning in spring. Let me give a little zoom here for you guys. RJ's here, coming in from Colorado. There is the New York City ferry flying by. Bill says, thank you for these beautiful moments. Hey, it's my pleasure. Glad we can all get to share these together. Despite the occasional technological hiccup. So for those of you who do want to take the bridge, you probably saw I tried to show on the camera on the tram ride over, I tried to show a little bit of the walking and bike path. The reason I don't really like it is there's no physical separation between the bikes and the walkers, and like I was saying, there's often some collisions that aren't very pretty. So I'm not a huge fan of it myself, but basically what you do is you walk across the bridge, you get down, and you sort of work your way back, and then there's a second smaller bridge to get onto Roosevelt Island. Maybe one day, if I can do it like at a weird time when it won't be super busy, maybe one day I'll film it. I did it a long time ago, but not my favorite walking path in New York City. Another view of the Smallpox Hospital. Like I was saying, I'll post the earlier video later, where we had some buffering, so I'll post that later. More views of the Smallpox Hospital. Andy Mike says, what is the temperature now? If you type in the chat !weather, we'll get a live weather update. So you can see no trespassing structure is unstable. LL is here, good to see you. We're going to go around and then head up the length of Roosevelt Island. As we go around, hopefully we won't have any problems again. Everybody cross your fingers. There's our weather update. So weather for New York City, conditions cloudy with temperature of 51 degrees Fahrenheit. Wind is blowing it from the south 8 miles an hour. Current humidity 46%. So 51 degrees in late January is incredibly, unseasonably warm. So it's great walking weather, but not great for the folks who are looking for snow. Andy wondering why there's no... So this is Roosevelt Island, which sits in between Manhattan and Long Island City. And there's just, this particular area is especially quiet because it's a park. But the island itself does not have nearly as many people as the rest of New York City. So it's very quiet. Roosevelt Island Police Department, or Public Safety Department, I guess. Ooh, cats. Cats. I see cats. This is like a cat park. How funny is that? Oh, geese. Honk honk. Geese and cats. Do geese and cats get along? Is that a thing? Please do not feed the ducks and the geese. How funny. I've been by that many times before, but I don't remember seeing cats. How funny. So we're now heading north, and we will walk up Roosevelt Island. We will see more of the bridge. We will see the ferry landing. And hopefully some other good sights along the way. Christina's here, good to see you. This is the Strecker Memorial Laboratory. So again, lots of these old buildings that have been saved here on Roosevelt Island, really fun to look at and give it a very distinct feel compared to other parts of New York that have, you know, where so much of it has been torn down and built up. Similar to Governor's Island, if anybody's familiar with that, which is another spot we'll have to visit together one day. And again, do me a favor, hit the like button. It'll help other people come back to us. I see it's starting to add up again, thankfully, but that'll help more folks come back. Appreciate it in advance. Again, these great views of Long Island City and lower Manhattan in the distance. So we're heading out of the park area and onto the eastern waterfront here of Roosevelt Island. And we'll take this path as far as we can take it. Lizzie's here, good to see you. Welcome, everybody. Again, the Queensboro Edcotch 59th Street Bridge. That was what we were on the tram earlier, that's connected to. Christian's back, good to see you. So again, if you're walking across the bridge, you'll take the bridge across, you'll get off down there. You'll hop down. There's some walking paths in this direction, and then you'll take the bridge. The smaller bridge has a walking path, and you'll take that onto Roosevelt Island, or you can take the tram as we did. You can take the subway, or you can take the New York City ferry. So a bunch of ways to get on the island. And again, I highly recommend it. It's really fun. And hopefully, as we walk north, we'll get you guys some more sights to see. LL enjoying the view. Yeah, it's really pretty, isn't it? It's one of the better looking bridges in New York City. I just wish it was a little more pleasant to walk on. Again, if you check my old videos, old videos, I do have a, I think I have a video of us, and I think Lisa was with me, my beautiful wife Lisa. I think she was with me on that walk, where I think I did film a walk across the Queensboro Bridge, but it's just not my favorite. As we come up, obviously many more modern buildings. Curious if anybody on the chat knows anybody who works over here on Roosevelt Island. This is the Cornell Tech campus. I'm glad you're enjoying, Andy. Thanks for being with us. Andrea's enjoying the views. So this is the east side of the island. Very different than the west side, but we'll get some interesting views as we walk up. And we will take this to the Lighthouse, which I think is officially still called the Blackwell's Island Lighthouse, but, or at least that was what it was originally called. John Burke, good to see you. Very happy our friends are making it back to the stream with us. Thanks. This is the ferry stop. Love the New York City ferry. Great way to see the city. $4 a ticket. Tickets are good for 2 hours, so depending on how you time things, you can often get from one route to another. If you really enjoy just touring around the city on a boat. So it's very, very nice way to see the city. I have a bunch of videos of different ferry routes at different times of the day and different seasons, so feel free to check those out. We are now underneath the bridge. And we've been here a number of times to see, there's runs over here and soccer games. If you've never been here, it's really worth a visit, in my opinion. And it does look like this is a stop on the Astoria route, which is what I was thinking. So feel free to go to ferry.nyc. You can look up the Astoria route. You can take this to Wall Street, and then from there you can connect to a bunch of other routes on the New York City ferry system. Oh, check out this view of the tram coming in. Beautiful. Oh, it's really fun over here. So here are some of the apartment buildings in Roosevelt Island. So we've gone from the sort of park area and then Cornell Tech. Now it's the sort of more residential part of the island. There are some businesses, there are some restaurants, but it is very, very, very small overall compared to other parts of New York City that you may be familiar with. But I imagine folks who live here probably enjoy being, access to New York City, but also a little bit of a quieter, somewhat disconnected. Amber says at least one hotel. Yeah, that sounds about right. I know. I think I know one of them up ahead, so hopefully we'll see some stuff as we make our way further up north. Looks like lots of construction right now, so I wonder if there's another apartment building coming up. I'm sure as Cornell moved in, there's probably a lot more demand for, from faculty, students, administrators, and so forth. Would not surprise me. Nice little park over here for this complex. Nabul is back. Memo's here. Memo used to live 20 River Road. That's cool. Of course, on this side, a little industrial view. Very different than the view on the other side of the Manhattan skyline. But I like this walk. It's much quieter on this side. And as you can see, you pretty much get the path to yourself. Parth is here, good to see you. LL likes a big city with shops, restaurants, amazing places, but also likes a quaint, quiet area. Yeah, I mean, that's, I think, that's one of the benefits. You know, you can just hop on the subway, be in Manhattan in, you know, just a handful of minutes. And then you come back here and it's nice and quiet. Ooh, look at that little building right in the middle. John Bader's here. Yeah, this is Roosevelt Island. Welcome. Thanks for touring on with us. Yeah, it has a very different feel over here than anywhere else in New York City. I'm trying to think, but the last time we were here, I seem to remember it must have been 90-something degrees Fahrenheit. It was so hot. I think I was surprised that the camera survived. So today it's so mild, it's really easy to walk. Really nice day. Lots of playgrounds. One time I was here, I saw there was like a Roosevelt Island recreational club for kids, and they were doing bike lessons. That was pretty fun. Ambrose says the stacks are from Ravenswood Generating Station, Power Station, Brooklyn. Wow. It's pretty intense, I gotta tell you. Pretty intense, Ambrose. It's a massive facility. ER Trauma is here. First walk I've seen on Roosevelt Island. Hey. Yeah, you don't see quite as many over here, but it's really fun. So we're looking at according to Ambrose, power generating station. It's really intense. Quite a lot going on over there. Parth is surprised to see no snow there. So it's 50 degrees Fahrenheit today. We are having an unseasonably warm winter, and we are currently breaking records for the longest period of time without snow. And at the moment, at least, there is still no snow in the forecast. So it's a very weird winter we're having. Terry's here. Andy asking about why we don't have bullet trains. Hey, we would, as a public transit and rail fan, would love to have a bullet train, but most of the transportation money in the United States goes to highways and infrastructure for cars as opposed to trains and public transportation. So it'll be a long time before we have anything close to what the Europeans and the Japanese have in terms of trains, which is a shame because if anybody has ridden the trains through the United States or done road trips, you probably know how beautiful the United States is, and it would be really, I think for a lot of people, it would be really enjoyable to do that by train. But I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. So like I was saying, so if you take the walking path across the Queensboro Bridge, you get off down there, you have to work your way around, and then you take this bridge onto the island. it's a pretty interesting walk. I'll say that. It's a pretty interesting walk. Obviously, I think you can tell my preference and recommendation is to take the tram. It's pretty quick, as you can see, but has tremendous views of the city. So I encourage folks to take the tram. I know not everybody likes heights and other things, but to me, it's the way to come. So we're walking north. We're in the kind of more residential area of Roosevelt Island, and we're going to go all the way to the tip top of the island and see there's an art installation over there, as well as the Lighthouse. So that's where we're heading, and here's more parks and playgrounds. This, I have to say, does look like a great area for families. Looks very family friendly. Amber says sometimes the tram line can be very long. Yeah, I kind of thought today would be a really good day for the tram, just because as we were walking around the city, it just wasn't very busy. Kind of a gray day. Folks are hanging out inside. So we didn't have to wait in any line at all. Kind of lucked out today. On Earth is here. Brenda says, I just remember driving over the Queensboro from Connecticut back in 2015 to go to Citi Field for a concert. Bill's heading out. Have a good one. Hearing lots of bird sounds over here. I wonder if we'll figure out where they're coming from. Been seeing some, oh, there they are. It's the geese. Flying just a foot above the water. Beautiful. Well, Memo, I'm hoping we'll, I want to get over to the Lighthouse, and then if we still have juice, we might work our way south again, so maybe we'll get that on the way back. I'll try to pick up the pace a little bit so that we have hopefully some battery life. Looks like another little piece of art over here. That's pretty. And this is the big parking garage. So if you take the walking path, this is where you walk into. LL saying, maybe I love this area is near the water. Yeah, I mean, that's why I like this little path right here. You have it largely to yourself, and you just have these beautiful water views. And we're getting away from some of the industrial stuff that may not be as pretty. So now we just get some nice pleasant water views. There's a park across the water over there. And then the ferry landing in the far distance is the Astoria New York City ferry stop. Lots of apartments around it. Hey, William's here. Always good to see you, pal. Celeste says, has there been any sunny days at all in New York City in the last 2 weeks? So yesterday was actually pretty nice, but it's been pretty cloudy. Yeah, you're right. It has been pretty cloudy lately. And the sun has been at a weird angle, so that even when it is sunny, depending on which avenue you're on or which way you're walking, it can be totally missing because of the tall buildings. But you're not wrong. It's been a very funny season. We've had a funny winter, no snow. Today's 51 degrees Fahrenheit, very weird. But yeah, yesterday was pretty nice, and we took our kid over to the East River. So we got to see Roosevelt Island from there. I'll point that out in a bit when we get closer to the Lighthouse. Here's the FDNY equipment. I imagine they have to do some pretty interesting exercises for operating on the island over here. There's the New York City ferry streaming on by. Probably stopped at the Roosevelt Island stop that we were just at, and is now heading there to the Astoria stop. Yeah, let's get some nice water sounds over here as the waves crash in from the wake of that ferry. Yeah, that's nice, isn't it? Relaxing. And then over here, this looks like a community garden. Let's see if we can find a sign about it. This is pretty. Eclectic as well. Birdhouse. Roosevelt Island Garden Club. That's cool. On weekends, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. Well, again, we will be back in spring because, oh, native wildflower planting. I bet this is going to look so pretty. So, is that called the Octagon, I think? Sabrina Fair, mid-flight between Portland and San Diego. Oh, gosh. One of my wife's favorite cities is San Diego. We hope you have an excellent trip. It's good to see you. Thanks for hopping in, saying hi. Safe travels. The sign reads Ponyfield next to us. And there's also tennis courts. Lots of facilities here for recreation, sports, etc. Really tons going on here. Yes, there it is, the Octagon. Quite a building. Stays here. Good to see you. Beautiful building. Really, really, really beautiful. I love that architecture. New York City Health and Hospitals to our left. we will hop back across, enjoy our waterside views. Where the locals roam. Hey, good to see you. Great channel now in Seattle. Check them out. Looks like a little dog park, but I don't see any dogs. Sorry, folks. One of my family members who's in town visiting was excited to see a corgi, and we did finally see one. I was saying that I don't often see corgis, but we did finally spot one yesterday when we were doing our little walk with the kiddo, outing with the kiddo.
Kind of is weird.
So we are now coming to the northern end of the island. Been quite a hike, where we'll get to see a nice little art installation as well as the lighthouse. Just a few moments. Bird. Where the locals room says there, come to Seattle, there are tons of corgis. Hey, had no idea. Ambrose says, oh, that's something. Ambrose says that Charles Dickens stayed at the Octagon, said it was wonderful. That's cool. I had no idea. I need to do more reading about the island. Obviously, tons of history. Robojax, good to see you. Are we fighting about the merits of London? It's one of my favorite cities. Love any historical city. All right, here we go, Lighthouse Park. We've made it. We have made it. Let's go see our lighthouse. Ooh, and you can hear all the seagulls in the distance. Beautiful. And as a reminder, I know we had some pretty significant buffering on the first video, so I'll try to post a replay later on that will get rid of all the buffering in case you want to revisit anything or share with a friend. Pathan is here. Good to see you. So that's the park we took kiddo to yesterday, Carl Schurz Park. That's the Upper East Side. The ferry that you see in the distance is at the, I think that's called the 90th Street New York City ferry stop. So if you take the Astoria route, it would go from 90th to Astoria, and then the next stop is the Roosevelt Island stop. So pretty cool way to get around. Again, $4 for a seat on the New York City ferry. Yeah, you'll have to let us know if this was the display you saw last time you were here. These are, I believe it's about Nellie Bly, who's a fun person to read about. Yeah, the girl puzzle Nellie Bly. Let's check this out. Says, I dreamed of my mother last night. I think she may come today and take me home. This one reads, I gave a despairing farewell glance at freedom as we came in sight of the long stone buildings. I'll come back to this one in a second, but let's finish reading these. I have never had but one desire, and that was to benefit humanity. I walked with the grace of a queen past the crowd that had gathered, curious to see the new unfortunate. While I live, I hope. All right, let's head over here where there's a little plaque about Nellie Bly. These are so magnificent. Isn't this beautiful? All right, here we go. Nellie Bly, May 5, 1864 to January 27, 1922. Nellie Bly was the best reporter in America, and that is saying a good deal. She takes with her from this earth all that she cared for, an honorable name, the respect and affection of her fellow workers, the memory of good fights well fought, and of many good deeds never to be forgotten by those that had no friend but Nellie Bly. Happy the man or woman that can leave as good a record. Arthur Brisbane, New York Evening Journal. And then a quote by Nellie Bly, I said I could, and I would, and I did. How great is that? John Burke says, is that a new park? So I think this installation has been here for, I wish we had a date, but it's been here for a while now. It's been here for a while. If anybody has the date of when it was installed, feel free to add that to the chat. And then I saw LL wanted to share something on Instagram. Feel free to just comment, tag us on Instagram. Account is Bagels and Walks. I want to say that's been there for at least a few years, but maybe somebody has the exact date. And here we are at the Lighthouse. ER Trauma says her best work was the article she wrote, Undercover in a Mental Institution. What a harrowing experience. Yeah, she's really worth reading about. Her life was fascinating, and I love that we have this little installation dedicated to her. Some of her exploits are hard to imagine somebody doing in this day and age, but imagining it done a long time ago by a woman at a time where that was incredibly unusual. That is the river sprinter of the New York City Ferry heading on over to the Astoria stop. That's the Upper East Side of Manhattan. Carl Schurz Park, and that right there, let me zoom in, is Gracie Mansion, which is home to the mayor of New York City. Brenda says a 10-day stay in Blackwell's asylum. Sabrina says modern art upsets my equilibrium. Every time we show art, we are reminded that it is always a matter of taste. It is for somebody, but not always for everybody. All right, so we still have a little juice left. So we're going to walk along this side of the island with the Manhattan skyline, and then maybe we'll head in to the middle at some point, but there's some great views over here and we'll get some nice water sounds and so forth. But here's one last view of the Nellie Bly installation. These sculptures, as you can see, are kind of, so the quotes I was reading are sort of embedded in some of these. Here we go. I gave a despairing farewell glance at freedom. These are really cool. If you get a chance, as you can tell, I'm a fan of Roosevelt Island. Encourage you guys to visit and check it out. There's lots to see. Glad we're seeing a bunch of folks over here with us, checking out the installation as well. And like I said, there's lots of ways to get onto the island, so worth a visit if you can. But let's head down this side of the island. We'll get some more views. And then depending on how things are looking, we may take the tram back to Manhattan Island. So we'll see if we'll see how the timing and the battery works out. John Bader says those reminded him of life masks. Absolutely, that's a good point. Brenda says she was only 23 when she went into the asylum. I mean, just an incredible life. Very cool to see it honored in that way. And like the Women's Rights Pioneers Monument in Central Park, we are fans of seeing more art and representation in general about famous and important women from history. So cool to see that more and more. So these are, again, apartments on the Upper East Side of Manhattan, overlooking the water, so they would have these Roosevelt Island views and East River views. This is like the East 80s and the East 70s. If you're familiar with Manhattan. We have an update. Noble Sweetness. The sculptures were placed in December 2021. Oh, wow. So if you check out my older videos, I have a bunch of videos from Roosevelt Island, and I remember seeing that. So we must have seen it pretty close to when it was installed. That's cool. I don't think I realized that. I thought they'd been there a little bit longer, but like many of you, over the last few years, I have lost all sense of time. If you told me something happened 1 year ago or 5 years ago, I'd just nod my head and say, yes, that sounds about right. All right, so we will work our way down, and if the battery allows it, we'll try to take the ferry back, the tram back, but no promises because we're working through the juice. and I got to get home to the fam. But that would be good because then I could hop on the subway from there. Lots of birds coming up. These particular birds look so serious. There's the octagon again. Clouds are in the sky says, have you heard that New York City is expected to have record cold next weekend? Yeah, we had a little hiccup on the stream. I think on the last one I mentioned that Friday and Saturday, the lows are 5 degrees and 7 degrees. I forget which day, but 5 degrees and 7 degrees Fahrenheit, which is awfully cold. We did a walk when Winter Storm Elliott was here, and it was 15 degrees Fahrenheit and super windy, so the wind chill was ridiculous. It was like -10 or something. But I will tell you that 15 degrees was awfully cold for this guy. Andrea says, this walk is awesome. Yeah, I gotta say, Roosevelt Island, I don't make it over very often, even though, as you can see, it's not difficult to get here. I just don't make it here as often because I'm usually just walking around the city. But this is such a fun island. And, you know, like I said, I think if you only ever come once, come in spring when, you know, you get the cherry trees and some beautiful blue skies and so forth. But it's a really enjoyable spot to visit. And I tell you, if you can time it right where you're taking the tram back to Manhattan so you get the Manhattan views after sunset, when the building lights come on, you'll have a really pleasant time. So you could spend some of the afternoon here and then take the tram back as the sun goes down or afterwards. I think you'll really enjoy that. So they have some, like we were saying, they have some restaurants and stuff. This looks like a restaurant and event space. Really pretty. Parker Robert, good to see you. Oh, somebody forgot their water bottle, free water bottle. And look at this little park. It looks like a boat. Looks like you can sit over here and look at Manhattan. And this is in the design of a boat. Ambrose says that's called the Sanctuary. Oh, that's good to know. And Robert is here. Good to see you. Thanks everybody for making their way back. I apologize for the network earlier. You never know what's going to happen when you go live. More park space, fields to play on, soccer fields. I see folks practicing soccer in the distance. Again, very family friendly over here. And great views on this side of Manhattan. On the other side, Queens, Long Island City. Daniel's here. Clara. Only took an hour, but I think we got all our viewers back. Really appreciate you guys. Thank you. Love exploring with everybody. Here, check out these little sculptures in the water. How cool is that? Robin's here. Happy Sunday Fun Day. Hey. So this piece of art is from 1996 by Tom Otterness. It's called, quote, "The Marriage of Money and Real Estate." And Dave in Bangor, Maine is here. Hey, good to see you. The Marriage of Money and Real Estate. Tom Otterness. I'll have to read about this, the artist statement. Pretty funny. There's a swimming pool right there, although it looks like it is closed for the season. Ambrose says that one reminds him of the Little Mermaid in Denmark. Is that also in the water? I think I know what you're talking about. I think I can sort of picture that. JC loves those sculptures. Yeah, I'm gonna have to read about I want to read the artist statement about it later. Pretty interesting, and I love when stuff is like that, like sticking out of the water. Really cool way to install them. And then hopefully I'll remember Ambrose mentioning Dickens visiting the Octagon, so I want to read about that visit. That's really cool. I love history like that. Oh, birds, geese flying just above the water. Jesse's here, and Robin says weather is great for walking. It is absolutely the perfect day for a walk. It is not, there's not blue skies today, unfortunately, but the temperature is perfect. A little light wind, 50 degrees. We feel very comfortable today. And let me zoom a little bit so you guys can see, but right in the middle of this part of the 59th Street Bridge, you can see the One World Trade Center. Isn't that cool? Incredible views from over here. Roosevelt Island, folks. Really recommend it. I am glad it worked out coming over here today. Wind is picking up a little bit, but like I said, it's still so warm out that it's perfectly nice. All right, so I need to start picking up the pace. I gotta head home. Give my wife a chance to get out on the town. So we're gonna pick up the pace, try to get back to Manhattan, and I have to head home in a little bit. JC's regretting not buying on Roosevelt Island. I bet there was a time where, it was probably quite affordable. But we were on the southern end where there's the Cornell Tech facility and other stuff. So my guess is demand has gone way up. And there's probably a lot of people who want to be in New York, but you know, at a slight remove. And Roosevelt Island's a good way to do that. Somebody earlier was looking up prices and rentals. They saw one bedroom was $4,000 a month. Terry's heading out. Hey, it was good to have you. Have a great rest of your day. Noble Sweetness asking if we'll be back in spring. We sure will. And if you do want to see our previous visits, just search my channel for Roosevelt Island. We've been here on video. I think this is our first time live here, but we've been here on video a few times. Nellie's here. We were just seeing Nellie. We saw Nellie Bly. Norman Ross is here. Hello, world. Sabrina, indeed. Ambrose says before they extended Governor's Island hours, we did have the island to ourselves for a race. Don't experience that. Oh, that's really cool. That is very cool. Yeah, it's so weird, you know, seeing different parts of the city to ourselves. So our last live stream, we were in Central Park on a pretty rainy day, and we had a lot of the park to ourselves. It was really something. A unique experience. JC liked the video we made on my neighborhood, Sutton Place. Oh yeah, we'll do more from Sutton. I love walking around Sutton Place. I have a few from there, but the views of the bridge from Sutton Place and Andrew Haswell Green Park and the Sutton Place parks on the waterfront, it's really nice over there. You can see 432 Park Avenue, middle of the frame. Tons to see from over here. The skyline views are really great. Back in all the apartments next to us. A lot of them have these really nice balconies. I bet they're really pleasant to sit on. Get these amazing views. Very relaxing. And I just saw a sign for a middle school. As I look south, I keep seeing the One World Trade Center framed in interesting ways. So right now it's between the Copper Building and the UN headquarters. And then I see to my right, again, the tip top of the Chrysler Building. This would be an amazing place to bring a film camera and get some really interesting angles of the Manhattan architecture. As you walk, you just keep getting different framing. Alexander's here. Good to see you. Enjoying. Ambrose says that's PS 217. What's the difference between PS and IS? I've seen that before, but I'm not actually familiar. What is the difference? Where the locals room has to bounce. Hey, it was good to see you. Thanks for hanging on out, and everybody remember to check them out for walks from Seattle. Another beautiful city. Thanks for hanging on out. Starbucks on our left, and this is the subway station, so you can take the F train, I think. But we're going to try to head back over to the tram. Hopefully the timing will work out okay. Yes, Roosevelt Island subway station F train. There's also a Duane Reade right there. So again, there are some shops, some restaurants, amenities. There's the tram. One of the trams now making its way back. Which means another will be on its way here. Yep, there's the one coming back. Try to go catch that one. Take it to Manhattan. Hopefully we'll get some good views again. This time Manhattan coming into view. And from there we will call it a day. Amber says, good, you didn't just miss it. No, I think if I had just missed it, we would have bounced and taken the subway. But hopefully we can catch this one. Just in time. Hustling on over to the tram now. And again, I won't talk as much when we're on the tram just to be respectful of other passengers. And the fare, $2.75, use a Metro card. Same thing you would use to get onto the subway, but no tap and pay. So if you don't have a Metro card, you will have to pick one up. They do have some machines here to purchase a Metro card. I have mine in my pocket somewhere. Hey Saber, good to see you. Again, we're going to quiet down here just to be respectful of the other riders. And we'll take the tram back across the water over to Manhattan. And from there, we're going to call it a day. John asked, when did the tram open? So if I remember correctly, it opened in the 70s. It was meant to be temporary, but people enjoyed it so much that it's been here ever since. I think they they restored it in like the 2000s. But as you guys can see, I'm a big fan of it. It's a great way to see the city and get to the island. Capito, good to see you. Yeah, if you don't like heights, it might not be for you. Ambrose with the date, May 17, 1976. Letting folks on momentarily. For some reason, somebody just climbed on top of the car, so I guess it might be a moment. Interesting. Oh, they're opening up anyways, so maybe he's riding on top for some reason. He looked like a maintenance worker. I don't know what the story is. Pierre says 1976. Used to watch it from the window at Sloan Kettering. That's awesome. All right, well, we're going to get some hopefully very nice views on our way back. Might be a moment just since somebody walked on top of it for some reason. Well, Celeste, hopefully you'll enjoy.
Good afternoon, folks. Please hold on to the rails while the cabin is in motion. Thank you. Have a nice day, folks. Watch your step, please. Welcome.
All right, what'd you guys think? How many folks got to see? How many folks saw both rides? Let me know which you preferred. We had such a good seat that time. Could point straight at Manhattan. That worked out pretty well. So huge thanks to everybody. We're going to walk over to Lexington, where I'm going to pick up the train, head on home. So big thank you to everybody for tuning in today and hanging out. Hopefully, sounded like for a lot of folks, that was either their first time on Roosevelt Island or, among their first visits to Roosevelt Island. So I'm glad we got to check that out together. I can see not everybody is a big fan of the heights, but it is a quick and very, very, very smooth ride over. Again, $275, just swipe a Metro card. Very easy, but if you prefer, you can walk across the Queensboro Bridge. You can take the F train. You can take the New York City ferry, or you can drive. I guess you could swim if you really wanted to. But a big thank you to everybody for being with us. We loved hanging on out. For those of you who were with us earlier and had some of the networking issues, I'm going to post a couple videos later today. I'll post a full replay, which won't have any of the issues. And then I think I'll cut out the tram rides because those are so fun. So maybe I'll post a second video, which is just the just riding the tram for folks who enjoy that. Normally during the week we post mostly recorded videos of walks that I take around New York City. I'm fresh out, so I don't know what the plan is. Either I'll get a walk in later for the week, or we may go live again during the week. So TBD. If you enjoy hanging on out with us, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, since as you can see, we never know when we're going live. But thanks for being with us. Thanks for tuning in. Hope everybody enjoyed. And we'll see you again real soon. Celeste, Sally, Nabul, Andrew Jordan, Sally, Ambrose, Robin, Christina, John, Brenda. Super fun to hang out with everybody. Finishing here with a shot of fancy Bloomingdales, Bloomies, signing off from New York City. We'll see you again real soon. Thanks, everybody. Bye.